When we hear the word Islam today, what comes to your mind? For many, the word has been clouded by fear, misunderstanding, and misinformation. Because of global conflicts and media portrayals, some have come to associate Islam with extremism or violence. Terms like terrorist or radical are often unfairly attached to Muslims, even though these acts contradict what Islam actually teaches. But here in Peace Education, we learn to look beyond prejudice. We ask deeper, fairer questions. What does Islam really teach about peace? What do Muslims truly believe in? And how can understanding Islam help us promote respect and coexistence in a multicultural world? The truth is, Islam, whose very name comes from salam, meaning peace, is a faith centered on peace, mercy, and justice. It seeks to bring harmony, not only between people, but between the human heart and its creator. So today, as we begin our lesson on peace concepts in Islam, other faiths, and spiritual traditions, we will start with Islam, a religion that has been widely misunderstood, but whose message, when understood correctly, beautifully aligns with our vision of peace, harmony, and respect for all. Because peace begins not when wars end, but when ignorance is replaced by knowledge, and prejudice by understanding. Now that we've opened our minds to see Islam beyond stereotypes, let us explore what Islam truly teaches, based on its authentic sources, the Quran, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, and the understanding of Muslims themselves. Our goal here is not to compare or debate religions, but to understand how Islam, like many other faiths, offers a spiritual foundation for peace, compassion, and justice. So for our first topic, the fundamental teachings of Islam, we'll explore two main ideas. 1. Islam as a deen and religion, and 2. Iman or faith, which forms the foundation of inner peace. Part 1. Islam as a deen and religion. The word deen in Arabic is much broader than the English word religion. While religion often refers to worship or belief, deen includes a complete way of life, a system that governs how a person relates to God, to others, and to the world. Deen has several meanings in Arabic. 1. Power, sovereignty, and control, showing that ultimate authority belongs only to Allah. 2. Obedience and submission, the attitude of surrendering to divine guidance. 3. Justice and recompense, reminding us that every action will be accounted for. 4. A way of life and moral system, shaping our behavior, choices, and social interactions. The Quran says, in English translation, indeed, the true way of life with Allah is Islam, as stated in Surah Al-Imran, verse 19. This verse tells us that Islam is not just a set of rituals. It is a comprehensive lifestyle guided by peace, justice, and submission to the will of God. The meaning of Islam. The word Islam comes from two root words. Silm, meaning submission, and Salam, meaning peace. So Islam means attaining peace through submission to the will of Allah. This shows that peace in Islam is not passive, it's active. It is achieved when a person lives in harmony with divine guidance, avoids injustice, and treats others with mercy. Islam teaches that true peace begins within the self, when the heart finds rest in faith, and it extends outward to families, communities, and nations through justice and compassion. Another unique feature of Islam is its universality. It is not named after a person, place, or tribe. Unlike Buddhism, from Buddha, or Christianity, from Christ, Islam is named after a principle, peace through submission. This means that Islam is a universal message, the same message taught by earlier prophets like Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, peace be upon them all. They all called humanity to worship one God and to live in righteousness. From a peace education perspective, this universality reminds us that Islam promotes equality and brotherhood. All people, regardless of race, nationality, or status, are equal in the sight of God, and this equality is a powerful foundation for peace and justice in human society. Part 2. Iman, the inner foundation of peace. The second key concept is Iman, which means faith or belief. The Arabic root of Iman means to know, to believe, and to be fully convinced beyond doubt. So Iman is not blind belief, it is faith built upon knowledge, reflection, and understanding. A person who possesses Iman, called a mu'min, has firm belief in Allah, His angels, His revelations, His messengers, the Day of Judgment, and divine destiny. But Iman is more than a list of beliefs, it is a state of peace within the heart. When a person trusts in God's wisdom, they find inner calm even in hardship. This inner peace becomes the root of outer peace, for a heart that is at peace does not spread hatred or violence. Islam and Iman. The relationship between Islam and Iman can be understood through a simple analogy. Iman is like a seed, and Islam is like the tree that grows from it. Without the seed of faith, the tree of practice cannot grow. Without good actions, the tree bears no fruit. When faith and action come together, a person becomes a true peacemaker, living peacefully within themselves and spreading peace to others. This is why the Prophet Muhammad said, "A true Muslim is one from whose tongue and hands other people are safe." This means that real faith must lead to peaceful behavior, to protect, not to harm, to speak with kindness, not with hatred, to serve humanity, not destroy it. The fundamental teachings of Islam all lead to one outcome, peace through submission to God's will. Islam promotes compassion, rahmah, forgiveness, maghfirah, and justice, adil. These are the same values that peace education upholds. Understanding, empathy, respect, and cooperation. When Muslims live by these teachings, they become agents of peace. Not only among fellow Muslims but among all people. As we close this lesson, remember. Islam is not a religion of violence, nor is it limited to rituals and prayer. It is a Deen, a complete, balanced way of life that guides people toward peace, justice, and harmony. Its foundation, Iman, nurtures inner peace. Its practice, Islam, builds social peace. And its ultimate goal is Salam, a world where every soul lives in peace with God, with others, and with creation. By learning about Islam in this way, we take one step closer to building a culture of peace, a world guided not by fear or prejudice, but by knowledge, respect, and shared humanity. That wraps up our lesson on the introduction to the fundamental teachings of Islam. In our next lesson, we'll dive deeper into what Muslims truly believe, the 6 articles of faith and the 5 pillars of Islam, the core foundations that guide a Muslim's life. Stay tuned as we continue exploring how these beliefs and practices shape a path of peace and purpose. That's it for today's lesson. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next one. This is Social Studies Simplified, where we understand the past, engage the present, and shape the future.